You love like you have nothing to lose. When you lay it all out on the table, at least you know you did everything
like Christ did
you
for us.
could. Exactly. Yes. You know you did everything you could to the best of your ability.
Yeah.
And you loved and you served.
Welcome to the Faith-Fueled Marriage Podcast, where we strive to build stronger Christ-centered marriages, one conversation at a time. Follow us along as we dive into our hopes, dreams, and struggles while giving you practical advice to strengthen your marriage. Let's check out our new episode.
Welcome to this episode of the Faith-Fueled Marriage Podcast. Today we're really excited because we're going to be doing a deep dive in one of the most recognized relational foundations of relationships. It's called the 5 Love Languages. Many people have heard about it. So it's by Gary Chapman. It's a great book. Before we dive into that, we're really excited about the next episode. What we're going to be doing is our church is doing a message on, it's called Relationship Killers, right? Yes. So we're going to do a recap on that. We feel like that one's going to be really important. So after that series is over, we'll recap that. So as always, like, share, subscribe, comment. The 5 love languages is, again, a great foundation for all relationships, specifically, obviously, in marriage. So if there's someone that you know, comment, send it to them. We really appreciate that, and getting the message out and making relationships as strong as possibly can. So today, when we were getting ready to go do this, the 5 love languages, we were recommended this. I think it was by Pastor Chad. He was our marriage pastor. Our premarital counseling. I think that's who recommended it. And I heard about it in the past, but when I finally read it, it was just like, it was like so deep and profound, but it was so simple at the same time. And it just kind of like opened my eyes to everything. And we read that back in like 2015 or 2016.
Yes. And
we use that in our relationship with our kids. I use it with work. You could use it with coworkers, with employees, friends. Everybody has these needs, and they give this love in this way, in one of these 5 ways. So, but with this one, I'll be honest, we got a new updated copy here. Jenny wanted to get a newer updated version. She did more of the reading on this one. I'm not going to lie. So I'm going to divert to her on this, and she's going to do most of the teaching on this. And I'll jump in as I can and ask questions, and we'll keep it moving on this 5 love languages topic. So again, great book. Yeah. So easy to apply to your life. And just once you read it, it's like, man, that's so good. That's so true. And then once you start applying it to your life, you see relationships blossom in all areas, your children, your spouse, even how you can love people at your workplace. So it's such a beautiful way to bless people. But before I go into that, I want to just go through scripture real quick. Why do we love? Number 1, Jesus calls us to love one another, right? God is love. You mentioned that. Galatians 5:13-15 says, "For you are called to be free, brothers and sisters. Only don't use this freedom as an opportunity for the flesh. Don't serve yourself, but serve on another through love. For the whole law is fulfilled in one statement: love your neighbor as yourself." And then Romans 12:10 says, "Love one another deeply as brothers and sisters. Outdo one another in showing honor." We said that in a previous episode. Serving, if your mindset is to serve one another, like my goal is to serve you, your goal is to serve me, you just build up on that. And it's just this beautiful relationship. So if you go into your relationship like that, it's a game changer. So this was a great book, very, very easy to read. I think I got it on Amazon for like $7, so it's not like overly priced or anything. There's so many resources out there. Even the old one, I think we got it on Amazon. It was like a used copy of it. Yes. And so it wasn't even, it was cheap. It was cheap, yeah. So check it out for sure. And then there's also audiobooks too. There's just so many resources. So essentially what happened was he is a marriage counselor, and all of the people that he was seeing, he started realizing a pattern, and he broke it down as there's 5 different ways that people give and receive love. And he just breaks it down even more so. So chapter 1 basically says the love languages, the 5 different ways that you love, are like foreign languages. So it's like how you communicate. So I could be communicating with you in my love language, but that might not be the language that you speak in. So I'm communicating, but you're speaking a different language than me. So there's a language barrier.
It's like when if you go to a foreign country, you go to Italy and you're speaking English, and they're just like, they're speaking fluent Italian to you, and you're just like, yep.
You just smile and nod. It's literally, that's the example here. Yeah. So your intentions are good, but it's ineffective. You need to learn the other's language and speak it, and you need to fill that love tank. So the more you do, the more fruitful the environment becomes. And it's like understanding one another's words. I go to Italy and I'm able to understand them, and it's just a deeper connection with that culture because I know what they're saying, they know what I'm saying, and you bond over that. So essentially, this is the example that's given, and it's an amazing example. So then it goes on to chapter 2, and chapter 2 basically explains there's a honeymoon phase, which we like to put it. I think that's the most common way that people refer to it, the in-love phase, which every couple experiences, and typically it lasts around 1 to 2 years. So those first...
Some people more, some people less.
Yes. So those first, let's say 2 years, you're in the honeymoon phase.
That's when they become annoyances after.
Yes.
But at the beginning, it's like, right, you were saying...
Like, oh, he's so quick with remarks. I love it so much.
That sarcasm's so cute. He's so witty.
He's so funny. And
he's so laid back. He does this, and then after a while, you're like, this stupid
smart
idiot.
guy. You just want to smack him. Or there's just so many funny examples that he does too. It really is an enjoyable read.
It's an easy read too, guys. I would suggest it and just get it and And it's such an easy read.
Yeah.
Even if you're not a reader, it's just you could blow through this thing quick.
Yes, and everything we talk about when we talk about the Bible and stuff, like, don't take it for us. Go in there and look at it yourself, because that's when true change is going to happen. You'll be able to apply it better. So definitely 100% read it. So after the 2-year mark, we start coming off, essentially, if I can say it this week, that high of that honeymoon phase, and we start to see their funny comments.
Essentially, it is. It's like when it's a euphoric, like the dopamine rush and all that stuff, and then all of a sudden, life happens.
Yeah.
And curveballs start coming, and you get in the nitty gritty of it.
Yeah.
And you really get to know that person, right?
Yeah.
So keep going.
So those wise guy funny comments, like Danny was saying. Those witty, funny comments seem like wise guy remarks. So at this stage, we still have emotional needs. So the love language, which are the love language, and at this point we get to choose to love our spouse and learn their language and dialect.
Because love
is a choice.
It's like culture teaches us love is such a feeling. Ooh, I'm in love, and the Disney princess this, right? Like all this kind of stuff, but that's not.
Yeah.
Love is a choice.
Yes. And
we have free will. That's you think of it with Christ with us. That's the beauty of it.
Mm-hmm. And that's why I'm sure we haven't really done a deep study in divorce, but what do most people say in divorce? I'm not in love with them anymore.
I fell out of love.
That's a lie.
Yeah.
You choose to love. Christ chose to love. How did he choose to love?
And another thing that we always say is it's not always going to be easy.
Yeah, it's always going to be worth it.
Always going to be worth it.
Yeah.
So just consistency, just keep going. But this book, that's the beautiful thing about this book. It just breaks it down. It's very deep and profound, like I said, but it makes once you get into it a little bit further in this episode, it's just so it's almost obvious.
Yes.
And then it's just like, whoa, a light bulb goes off, and it's like, wow.
Yeah. Why didn't I think of that?
Yeah.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah.
So 100% read it. So love is usually thought of as a feeling, but love is a choice and action. So 1 Corinthians 13:4-7 shows us God is the source of our love. He loved us enough to sacrifice his son for us. And Jesus is our example of what it means to love. So the Holy Spirit helps us, gives us the power to love, right? He lives in our hearts and he makes us more and more like Christ. So God's love always involves a choice and an action, and our love should be like him. And then I wrote down a reflection question. Just in your head, ask yourself, how well do you display your love for God in the choices you make and the actions you take? So just think
Say
about
that again.
How well, right? Is that, yes. How well do you display your love for God in the choices you make and the actions you take? Because love is a choice, right? And then another thing too, I've said before, I was looking at Job 5:17, and it says, "Blessed is the one whom God corrects. So do not despise the discipline of the Almighty." Guys, we have the access of the ultimate marriage counselor who ever existed and who ever will exist, the Holy Spirit, who is fully God. And to have that correction
And communion.
It's insane how you can love people only through him. So you can't buy him, but you need to be disciplined and you need to surrender. And oftentimes that's more difficult than giving your money to places, because you're called to slow down and have a relationship with him. But there's so many examples, and when people share testimonies of how they've really just loved their spouses through the correction of the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
I could give you a million examples of how he's checked me on loving you, but it's like, oh, thank you. Like it's life, it's love. So definitely just read your Bibles, hang out with him, because that's when real life starts, real living starts. Yeah. So chapter 3 kind of just confirms everything that we've spoken about in chapter 1 and 2. So we've been led to believe that if we are really in love, then the in love obsession will last forever.
It's that fantasy land, like I always say, the Disney princess. Like it's gonna last forever, and this is my Prince Charming, and he's gonna day after day. Yeah, well then all of a sudden he pees on the seat, or
yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Won't wipe it up.
Something like, and then you're like, what is wrong with this clown? Like,
yes.
you know, well, he's a human, like, you know, or same thing with her. Oh, she always does this, and she's a human.
Yes.
And you know, the fake Instagram models and all that stuff, they're just humans.
It's not real.
They're just humans. It's not authentic. They're just, at the end of the day, we all have flaws. So
amen. Yeah, we all need Jesus. So the good news is, married couples who lost their in love feelings, if love is a choice, and it is, right, then you have the capacity to love after the in-love obsession has died and you're returning back to the real world. So you're up here, you're coming back down, you're back in the real world. You have a choice to love them, right? So the hair on the counter, the white spots on a mirror, that kind of love begins with an attitude and a way of thinking. So again, don't always follow your emotions. You make a commitment, right? You follow on that commitment.
So basically, that's setting up the stage for because he saw like hundreds of, you know, thousands of couples, right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like he just started putting, like, it was like a map, and he started putting like this and this together, and he said there's a lot of common denominators between these couples, right?
Yeah.
So then psychologically, from a psychological psychology standpoint, is what I meant to say, he realized that there's 5 love languages that we there's 5 ways that we receive love, and there's 5 ways that we give love.
Yes.
Sometimes they could be the same, sometimes they could be different, right? So a lot of people know what they are, but let's go through them real quick before you jump in. So we'll go through them, and then you're going to just do like more of a deeper dive on each topic.
Yes. Okay. So these 5 love languages can be influenced by your parents, how you grew up. So that's to keep in mind too. Why do I receive love like this? Yes. So,
you know, different cultures are different, you know, the American culture might be this way, or the European culture might be this way.
Yes.
Right.
So it's good to adapt. And that's why I mentioned the word dialects. So there's these languages, but there's different dialects. And we spoke about the American bubble versus the like Italian European bubble.
I think I learned that like when I was in school, like it was like in psychology or something. I was mentioning it to you. If you're just like a true through and through American, I guess, raised. There's the social bubble, like where people can get into your social space is like, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, I guess. It's just a little further away.
Yeah.
But then like the European side, or I mean, I don't know, other cultures, it's like, I mean, we're Italian, so we're just like, yo, like we're
yeah,
we're like
or they
we're
kiss on the cheek, like the men too.
We're in like it's closer space and it doesn't like bug you out too much, But then some people like getting in here might be like, whoa, dude, like back up,
So keep that in mind as you're going through these love languages, and there's different cultures. You have to take cultures definitely into consideration, because what works for an American might not work for another culture.
Right.
So
let's go. So let's see what are the 5 that he came up with.
So the very first one is words of affirmation. I'll just go through them. Words of affirmation, and we'll dive deeper in quality time, receiving gifts, acts of service, and physical touch. So those are the 5.
So words of affirmation, let's go in order again because I don't want to mess it up. Words of affirmation, quality time, receiving gifts, acts of service, and physical touch.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So those are the 5 like main ways that humans give and like to receive
love
and feel loved.
Yes.
Right?
Yep. And yours may not be the same as your spouse. So it's very important you find out what yours is, because then that will give you an aha moment. Why am I not feeling loved? And also, why is my spouse not feeling loved? I'm pouring into them. Well, you're not loving them the way that they receive love. So we'll go through this, and then we'll do some practical next steps for you guys. But the first one is words of affirmation. So these are verbal compliments. And a quote that I loved was, verbal compliments are more motivating than nagging words. So speak life into your spouse, speak leadership into your husband, speak confidence into your wife, because I'm telling you, when you do that, which marriages are healthy, and they do that because it's like they stand tall. Like it's
a good point.
My husband builds me with so much confidence. I don't care what happens. I'm going back I have Jesus, and I'm going back to my husband. My wife, like, she's been praying for me and speaking leadership over me. Like, I love the leader you are. I see you. You're a leader. I love what God's doing in your life. You sent me a video. Yeah, like the pastor was saying, his wife did that for him when he was getting rebuked by the world, and his wife literally was just so wise, and she said, blessed are you when you are persecuted on account of Jesus.
So tonight we feast, and he was just like so emotional about it.
He was like, I felt like I could run through a wall. Those are the power of words. Your words are life or death. It's the proverb. Say that again. Your words have the power of life or death. I think it's either like fruit. I forget exactly how it goes, but basically, then it says at the end, it's really profound. You choose. So, the tongue has the power of life or death. It's either fruit or something. I can't remember the exact proverb, and then it's like a little dash goes, you choose. You have the power. You have the free will to choose.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's your responsibility.
Yeah.
So what kind of
life
life
it's one of those
do you
things,
live?
going back to one of our older videos, I always just say, hey, stop. Like, stop. Taming your tongue is like, you got to practice. It's like, that doesn't happen like overnight.
No.
So even if you think a thought, like, stop, take a step back and think about it. In that moment, you want to just blurt it out.
Yeah.
But hey, that might not be the most fruitful thing to say right now. So let me just bite my tongue and not say that, or just think of a different way, or put myself in her shoes, or put myself in his shoes. And how would I feel if I was in that situation and they said this to me, I feel like I'm going off a little bit of a rabbit hole, but I'm just, it does relate to words.
So quick to listen.
Slow to speak. Slow to become angry.
Slow to become angry.
Yeah.
So speak life into your spouse. This can be influenced by your parents. Like I said before, the words of affirmation, where your parents are affirming you through their words, were they not? So there's a lack there. So some people need it even more so than others. Like they need that affirmation. Yeah. The father loved them, but the father never verbally said, hey, I love you. I'm so proud of you. There's nothing you can ever do that will take away my love for you. I just love you because you are my child. Father may have never said that. So you're going out in the world and you're filling yourself with the world, thinking that, not realizing that you just needed that verbal affirmation. And another thing, how you say things does matter. Our spouse will usually interpret our message based on our tone of voice, not the words we use.
I've always, even like with work and stuff, it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Yeah. So for the example, your spouse takes out the trash. You could say, hey, thanks for taking out the trash. Or you could say, hey, thanks for taking out the trash.
Finally did it.
Yeah, you finally did it. Ugh, I had to ask you 20 times.
Yeah.
Like, there's a difference. So again, use your words for life, right? And then he quoted psychologist William James said, the deepest human need is the need to feel appreciated. Your words have the power to make your spouse, to make your children, to make your coworkers feel appreciated. You bless others through that.
I think, and also it goes back to, like you said, about it could be influenced by the parents. Maybe they didn't get that, and maybe this is a difficult thing for some people to do.
Yeah.
Like say that's your spouse's number one way that they feel loved. They need words of affirmation, and it's just something in you, and you just can't say it, or it's just, I don't know why I can't do it. Start small, like something like that. Just little things that you are grateful for, things that they do. Like no matter what you say, they took the trash out. You may not like throw a party for them, but like, you know, hey, I'm thankful that they took the dishes out of the dishwasher, or the sink was filled and they did that.
Yes.
So it's a very simple, hey, thank you. I just want to say thank you. And it's going to feel like, I don't know why, but it may be tough or it may be awkward at the beginning. But the more you do these little tiny ones, you're going to just keep building up, right? Because it's just, hey, thank you for doing that. Like, hey, thank you for wiping the table down after dinner. Like, it doesn't need to be this crazy, just if you think something nice, just open your mouth and say it, right?
Yeah. And it turns into this snowball effect of words of affirmation. So you affirm your spouse so much, they're going to want to serve you and love you.
The cool thing is, once you start, you'll see throughout all of these, but once you start feeding, like say words of affirmation, they take the quiz and words of affirmation is their number one, and you start feeding that, even if it's very difficult for you, and slowly you start feeding it, you're going to just see this, how they receive that love, and it's going to change their posture is going to change. They're going to reflect that back to you, right?
Yeah, yeah. So when you love others and you pour into them, the natural response is to reciprocate that.
Correct.
So if you don't know where to start and it's difficult for you, that's okay. He says in the book too, lots of practical advice again, guys. So read the book. Keep a notebook and write down positive words you can either hear others say, you see in books or articles, and also, most importantly, pray and ask the Holy Spirit to help you. And then I love this, affirm your spouse in front of others.
Yeah.
That's powerful.
Always build up in well, we always say, like, even with work, praise in public and I guess reprimand or discipline in private.
Yeah.
Like
have those healthy conversations.
Yeah, have those deeper, healthy conversations in private.
Yeah.
And then in public, don't ever, even, and I see it all the time, and sometimes I may do it, but jokingly, like sarcasm, like putting your, oh yeah, that's the first time you'll ever see her do that. Like, and it's funny in the moment, but in reality, it's like, man, it's
demeaning.
Yeah, you just put her down in front of like 15 people that you're at a family party or whatever, and people laugh and it's funny, and in the moment it seems lighthearted, but you keep doing those sly comments, and it's like, dude, you're hitting me below the belt too many times. Cut it out, man.
Yeah,
like, we're a team.
You used to think it was funny, but after the 50th time you say that in front of our friends, like, it's not life-giving.
Yeah.
Why can't you speak life over me?
Yeah.
I don't know. So it's something to think about too.
So that's words of affirmation. So we'll have a, I guess we can tell them about the link or something at the end about the quiz.
Yes.
So you'll go through, take that, and then it'll tell you which ones it'll rank them like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Mm-hmm. So the next one is quality time. Yep.
So again, what makes one person feel loved emotionally is not always the thing that makes another one feel loved emotionally. So quality time. Quality time is the act of hanging out with one another, but it's not enough to be in the same room with someone. A key ingredient is giving quality time. A key ingredient in giving quality time is giving them focused attention, especially in our electronic obsessed world. So we can be next to each other on our phones, but I'm not connected with you. No. I'm disconnected.
It's like right now, if you're talking to me and I'm just like over here like this, you'd be like, hey, pay attention. We're like in the middle of this.
Yeah. So you're more focused. You're more in relationship with your phone than your spouse.
Yeah.
So keep in mind, because another example in the book was the wife was literally crying for quality time with her husband, and he was an acts of service. We'll get there. So he was doing things for her, thinking he was loving her that way, but she literally just wanted to be one-on-one in front of him talking to her. And she's like, we never talk. And he's like, what do you mean? We do talk. I see you every day. We say things, but there's no weight in the words.
That's where the five love language is pretty profound, because he's over here mowing the lawn, cleaning up the house, doing the yard stuff, like whatever he's got to do inside the house. He's going to work every day, and he's like, I'm providing for you. I'm serving you. I'm doing this for you. But in reality, like that's not how her love tank was needed to be filled.
Yes.
She just needed to sit down, however long it was at dinner or whatever, after dinner, the kids go to bed, and just them two just hang out and talk, and she would just feel so like euphoric and loved.
Yeah.
And he didn't realize that, and such is life with us. Like so many people, we just don't. That's why this book is so cool and profound, because once you realize, you're like, man, that's all it is. Like, she's so stressed out. I need to just sit down and fill her love tank right now. You know?
Yeah. No, it's so important. So our time together communicates that we care about each other, that we enjoy being with one another, that we like to do things together.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind too. If you're not hanging out with your spouse and they're a quality timer, you're basically communicating that.
So would you say, like, I mean, some people are like more athletic couples and they like want to go
play pickleball
or run marathons and work out together, and said that's quality time.
That is
right?
quality time.
They're doing something that they both, or even if they both don't enjoy it, but one person enjoys it, the other one's kind of just, it's sacrificial love. So it's like if I wanted to go to a baseball game or something, right, and you wanted to go to a movie or whatever, something else, but out of that's something that I enjoy.
Yes.
And if quality time is my love language, you're going to sacrifice and be like, you know what? I'm going to sacrifice here and fill his love tank and go to the baseball game with it and enjoy it.
Yes.
Not be pouting and nagging the whole time. Be like, can we leave? This is stupid. Like, and making it miserable for him, or vice versa. She wants to go to a musical or something. And that's something like,
that's a big act of love.
Like I would not want to go to like the Nutcracker or something. I remember my dad was telling a story, like he's like, I think him and my mom went, and he was like, this was like the stupidest thing, but hopefully you had a positive attitude there.
Yeah, because think about it, you're wasting your time even going there if you're going to go there and be negative, because you're ruining the whole experience.
Then the thing is, this quality time doesn't have to just be like, okay, no phone, sit down, stare face to face, and let's talk. My point is, it could be activities together. It could be. I mean, even for me, like if we sit down and watch. We don't really watch too many movies, like The Chosen or something. Yeah. Like to me, I'm just sitting next to you doing that. That's filling my love tank, and we don't have to sit there and actually be phones away, conversating face to face.
No, it could just be like cuddling and watching.
And to me, that's what my point is everyone's different, and there's different forms of quality time. I think that's what you were getting at too earlier.
So that's what dialects is. It's the different aspects of the quality time. So your spouse
within the quality time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Your spouse may speak quality time, but they have a specific dialect. So once you learn that and hone in on that, and again, it might take trial and error. You just start figuring these things out. They appreciate it. But then when you really see what fills them, you're like,
the light bulb goes off, and it's just like, here we are.
And then it's like, okay, I know what to do. I'm just going to do this.
There's so much more fruit in your relationship after.
Yeah. So ask yourself this question too. This is very important. What in your marriage affects your quality time? because you are the provider in our home. You're gone a lot and you have to pour into others because that's what you've been called to do in this season. So it does affect our quality time. So are we being intentional about our quality time? Are we putting the kids to bed early? That's something I can do. And then having everything laid out so you come in and then you're intentional with me. It's a team effort to work together. We've said this before, set a date in your phone. There's nothing wrong with that. And keep it sacred, no, this Saturday I'm going out with my wife. I can't do it. Really? Yes, I can't do it. I'm going out with my wife.
What you prioritize is what you always say, something like that. How do you say that? You always say like what you prioritize is
what you value.
Yeah. So what you prioritize is what you value. If you value your marriage, you prioritize it.
Yeah.
And another thing is, sorry, I don't want to cut you off, but it clicked in my head when you said that. What in your marriage affects your quality time? So this is how the enemy, again, watch older videos, and he wants nothing more than just divide and conquer. It's easier to conquer once you divide.
Yeah.
He wants to just divide and destroy you and your marriage. So one of the avenues that he takes, especially nowadays, I don't have my phone over here, but it's technology.
Yes.
It's easy for him to distract us with technology, distract us. And I think there was a pastor that even said, as it relates to your personal relationship with Christ, he doesn't have to make you believe that there's no God. All he has to do is distract you enough, right?
So good.
And it's kind of almost could be a little freaky, scary, but that's your relationship with God. But same thing with your marriage. All he has to do is really just distract you just enough.
Slowly,
life gets in the way. And next thing you know, it's like boom, 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 boom. You guys
How did
drifted.
we get here?
How the heck did we get this? We did not plan this,
Yeah.
So like you just said, dude, it may sound stupid, but write it in your phone. Set a reminder. Remind me on Saturday at whatever, 9 a.m. to do this or whatever the situation is.
Yeah.
For, to fill your spouse's love tank. It may sound dumb, but at the end of the day, if your marriage is that important,
you will do it.
Do it, man.
Yeah.
So
one thing I do want to read for you guys, it's a dialect of quality time, and it made me laugh. So I thought it was interesting. I was explaining it to you, and you were like, that's actually funny.
Yeah.
So not all of us are out of touch with our emotions, but when it comes to talking, all of us are affected by our personality. So Gary Chapman goes on and says, I have observed two basic personality types. The first I call the Dead Sea. So in the nation of Israel, the Sea of Galilee flows south by the way of the Jordan River into the Dead Sea. So the Dead Sea is being filled, but the Dead Sea goes nowhere. It receives, but it does not give. So this personality type receives many experiences, emotions, and thought throughout the day. They have a large reservoir where they can store that information, and they are perfectly happy not to talk. If you say to a Dead Sea personality, "What's wrong? Why aren't you talking tonight?" he will probably answer, "Nothing's wrong. What makes you think something's wrong?" And that response is perfectly honest. He is content not to talk. He could drive from Chicago to Detroit and never say a word and be perfectly happy. On the other extreme is the babbling brook. For this personality, whatever enters into the eye gate or the ear gate comes out of the mouth gate, and there are seldom 60 seconds between the two. So whatever they see, whatever they hear, whatever they tell. In fact, if no one is at home to talk to, they will call someone else. Do you know what I saw? Do you know what I heard? If they can't get someone on the phone, they may even talk to themselves because they have no reservoir. Many times, a Dead Sea marries a babbling brook. That happens because when they are dating, it is a very attractive match. If you are a Dead Sea and you date a babbling brook, you will have a wonderful evening. You don't even have to think, how will I get the conversation started tonight? How will I keep the conversation flowing? In fact, you don't have to think at all. All you have to do is nod your head and say, and she will fill up the whole evening, and you will go home saying, what a wonderful person. On the other hand, if you are a babbling brook and you date a Dead Sea, you will have an equally wonderful evening because Dead Seas are the world's best listeners. You will babble for 3 hours. He will listen intently to you, and you will go home saying, what a wonderful person. You attract each other. But 5 years after marriage, once the honeymoon stage is over, the babbling brook wakes up one morning and says, "We've been married for 5 years and I do not know him." The Dead Sea is saying, "I know her too well. I wish she would stop the flow and give me a break." The good news is that the Dead Seas can learn to talk and the babbling brooks can learn to listen. We are influenced by our personality, but we are not controlled by it. Again, we are influenced by our personality, but you are not controlled by it. One way to learn new patterns is to establish a daily sharing time in which each of you will start with 3 things that happened to you that day and how you feel about them. He calls that the minimum daily requirement for a healthy marriage. If you will start with the daily minimum, in a few weeks or months, you may find quality conversation flowing more freely between the two of you. So we used to do this with our days. What did you learn today?
Yeah.
I forgot what we would do. We did it for a little bit. We would do it with our kids too, which is cool. I would like to start doing that.
Yeah, it was like... we stopped doing it all.
What did you learn today?
It was one thing that you learned today. It was, who did you love today? And
what are you grateful for?
Something, I don't remember the last one. But it was just a little thing that we would do.
Yeah.
To have more, instead of just superficial, like, how was your day? Good. Cool. How was yours? Good. Yeah. Okay, cool. And then like that, it was more like, it would create deeper conversation.
Yeah. And it might open up to something.
And it was good for quality time because those are one of our love languages. So for us.
Yeah.
So
those are some things.
So the first one was, was words of affirmation, quality time. And then the third one is giving and receiving gifts.
So gifts are visual symbols of love. So it's actually one of the easiest languages to learn. And if your spouse is critical of your gifts, then that is most likely not their love language, as he goes on to say in here. So, I mean, you want to be intentional about gifts. You don't want to give them a sloppy gift. But most of the time, he's saying, if receiving gifts is a love language.
Does he say anything about, like, is it more of the quality of the gift, or does he say anything about any of that in the book? Like, for instance, does it have to be he got me a diamond bracelet, or can it just be, oh, he got me flowers? And then even further on that, I don't know if I'm going too much, say like, oh, every Friday he gets me flowers, and now it's just like an expected thing, and it's not really that special anymore. Yeah. Every Friday he gets me flowers, and he's been doing it for years. He doesn't really care. Like, is there anything on that does he do anything on that in the book? Do you remember? He
essentially said it goes along with dialect. So if you don't want to get flowers, get it every other week or once a month, like if it is like excessive, and unfortunately we are humans, we take things for granted until we can't have those things anymore. Like you serving me, then I'm like, man, that was so nice. I love that, as an example. So it all depends on your spouse's love language and their dialect. So it's up to you to figure it out. If your spouse is saying that, he does say, I mean, I'm not a marriage
we're just going off of what he says.
But he said most likely that's not your spouse's primary love language if they do respond like that. So that's just something to keep in mind. Maybe there's another love language you can consider and pour into them. Because we also said too, and we might have wanted to say this at the end, you find out your spouse is one. Everyone has a primary love language. Then they speak a secondary love language. It's not bad to fill all of them. Correct. Fill all of them. Yeah. But some are going to be more affirming and have more weight than others.
Like, for instance, say receiving gifts is not like, you don't like it. I mean, everybody likes getting gifts, but you don't need the diamond rings and the diamond necklaces and stuff. I'm just saying the more expensive things and stuff. You're like, I can do without it. I'd rather just have him sit down and, play with my hair and watch TV or whatever, or give me a massage or whatever, but just because receiving, I think to your point, just because receiving gifts is so low down on the totem pole of the ranking, like it's number 5, just say out of 1 through 5, and it's the lowest one. I mean, on your birthday and stuff, it's still nice to get a gift.
Yeah,
don't neglect it and be like, they don't really care about that one, so
yeah.
I'm just gonna not,
get them a card and get them flowers
or
and call
whatever,
it a day.
something. Yeah, you don't have to go spend thousands
Hundreds
of
dollars. Yeah.
on a ring or something very expensive.
But be intentional.
Yeah.
And why not fill all of them?
Yeah.
Fill the primary one more than the others, but don't neglect them because they are all ways of receiving love.
I wonder where vacations would fall because it's quality time, but that's a gift kind of too.
Yeah. That's meeting both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can knock out two birds, one stone.
There you go. So a quick reflection. How can you give gifts if finances are tough?
Quick reflection for them.
Yes.
Yeah, something that you guys can try to reflect on. How can you give, what did you write? How can you give gifts if finances are tough?
Let's be honest, we're in the world of instant answers and
gratification.
AI and gratification. So what isn't always the best thing, but in this instance, use it. Literally Google, how can I give gifts to my spouse even if my finances are tough?
Yeah.
See what they say.
I mean, just from I guess, I don't know if you're creative. Hopefully you can be a little creative with it, or if you're not, like she said, just Google it, I guess. But
yeah.
But it could be something. Writing a hand, or I don't know. That's more words of affirmation.
But it's still a gift. I was thinking something like I don't know if this is silly, like a origami thing, making a heart for your spouse and leaving it on the counter so when they go brush their teeth in the morning, they see it.
But it can also just be a thoughtful thing. You say you go get a cup of coffee and you know that they like the specific flavor with
yes.
and they didn't ask for it, but you just go ahead and get it and you bring it home. That's what, $6, well, nowadays probably more, but maybe $16 now. But it could be something small like that. It doesn't have to be this grand, expensive
gesture
thing. Yeah. I think every single time. I think a lot of people that have the receiving gifts, that's the way my tank fills up. It doesn't always have to be the most. They bought me a car. It doesn't have to be anything. Maybe that would be an amazing thing, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that, but but I think it's more of just hey, they're thinking of, they take a step back and they're like, hey, they're thinking of me. They picked up this $3 book because they figured that it was they know that I like romance novels or leadership books or whatever, and they just thought of me at when they were at the store.
Yeah.
That's my favorite candy bar or whatever. It could be something small. That's what I'm thinking when you wrote that.
It's essentially showing that you thought of them and throughout your day when you weren't with them. And now,
and I think that aspect, it's like if you dive deeper into the psychology about receiving gifts, it's that, hey, they were by themselves without me, but they stopped and they thought of me.
Yeah.
And it's and it makes them feel good. So it doesn't have to be the most expensive thing every single time.
No, it can be a candy bar. Go to the dollar store.
Pick some flowers on the side see some wild flowers. Well, those are pretty. Go pick those. They're free. God gave them to you.
Find an animal, bring it home. No.
So moving along to the next one. Quick recap. So words of affirmation. Quality time. Receiving gifts. And the fourth one that he has is acts of service.
Mm-hmm. So oftentimes men try to show love to their spouse this way, but it may not be the wife's love language. So I want to just give you a thought from turning a negative situation into a positive one. What your spouse cries for and criticizes may be their love language. So it's very easy to take offense to things, but you have the opportunity, you have the option to choose to be unoffended and step back and say, I've been mowing the lawn, I've been emptying the dishwasher, I've been washing the windows, and she's just saying that I don't love her, I don't understand. Well, what is she asking for? I never see you, I never talk to you. Well, she's a quality timer. She wants to talk to you. We spoke about that
You never
earlier.
hold my hand in public. Okay, well, that's later on, physical touch.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
So try not to be offended and just step back and see and think about it and then pour into what they're crying for. It's literally they're telling you what they want. So use that. walk in strength and maturity and use that to love your spouse. So no one likes to be forced to do anything. In fact, love is always freely given. So love cannot be demanded. Requests give direction to love, but demands stop the flow of love. So again, I want you to take out the trash. I want you to do this. I want you to do that. That's like negative speaking.
Well, I was just going to say, even if they're because you turned a negative into a positive, but also the person that's saying that.
Yes.
It goes back to when we were talking about words of affirmation. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. So if it's, when we said in other videos where it's like, if you keep using the you language,
yes,
that puts up that defense mechanism right away. And now you're going down a different path and you're opening the line for conflict, right?
Yeah.
So take a step back and how can you incorporate like a we language when you're trying to portray to your spouse, or just tell them straight up, like, this is how I feel loved. Like, we're all mature adults, so like, just maybe have those healthy conversations, or maybe have a night where you guys take the quiz together, and then, hey, that's a good thing to do, is take the quiz together and sit down and talk about it. Be like, man, I never even realized that this is my love language. I mean, you might know right away, or you may be like, wow, I didn't even realize that was so high on my list. As I'm going through this, I started clicking yes to these ones and no to these ones, and I didn't realize that this one was so high on my list. And then that's a conversation that you have. And now you guys know it's laid out on the table. We're all mature, and we can, now it's up to you to make the choice
and move forward.
To move forward and fill those.
Yeah.
So as far as acts of service, as it relates to men, I do agree with you, because men naturally usually have that instinct, like, I want to provide, I want to protect, and I want to serve.
Yes.
And so that's why they're out there, doing the yard, going to work, every day, doing things around the house. Something goes wrong, they're out there trying to fix it, and they feel that by doing that, they're showing their spouse security and love and protection, and this is what she needs, and she does need those things, but that might not be her primary way she receives those. So don't neglect it. Don't like be like, oh well, she doesn't care about acts of service, so I'm not going to take care of the yard. Well, now she's just going to think you're lazy,
Yeah.
So it's tough, man, because it is a balancing act of all of them, but just primarily focus on feeding, and it's going to be a little bit of a mindset shift, especially if acts of service is how you think that. You might have seen your dad, growing up, my dad always cut the lawn, and we had the perfect yard, and our house was always painted perfectly, and the driveway was always pressure cleaned, and all the cars were taken care of, and those things are great. But maybe your wife was raised differently, and she's just she just always had time where her mom was and her grandma or whatever was always playing with her hair, and that's how she always received love. So it's a little bit of a mindset shift in that. Don't neglect the service part of it, because that could lead to more issues.
Yeah.
But maybe prioritize.
Be intentional.
The top 2 or 3. So.
Yeah.
So wrapping it up, the last one that he has, number 5.
Physical touch.
Yes.
So this can be holding hands.
It doesn't have to be, it is, but it doesn't have to be just sexual intimacy, right?
Yes. Yeah. Oh, so, that's a good point.
So it could just be, just sitting in public or whatever at home, just doing something like this and just holding hands, and, it could be something like that.
Yes. So another good example I liked, when he spoke to the men in counseling, Dr. Gary Chapman, he said a lot of the men thought theirs was physical touch because they liked intimacy, sexual intimacy with their spouse. But let's be honest, men are typically wired like that, So he asked this man in particular, so you love physical intimacy with your wife, but let me ask you, if your wife criticizes you, speaks negatively of you, are you still going to desire that intimacy with her? And he said, well, no. So his was words of affirmation. And then obviously that intimacy is a huge dynamic of marriage. So just be mindful of that. It might not, number 1, be physical touch. It might be words of affirmation. And then the physical touch or the intimacy is even better, because you're filling that number
And
one.
like I said, it's going to make the other areas of your relationship that much more fruitful.
Yes. So find out what one is yours. What do you most desire from your spouse? What makes you feel loved above all else? So most intimacy issues in relationship have to do with needing emotional needs. So once you meet those emotional needs, the intimacy issues will dissipate. It'll just start flowing naturally, like you said, because you're being filled.
And I think probably more so for women on that topic. Because good emotional stability and emotional health leads to more, especially specifically with sexual intimacy. I think.
Yeah.
The more emotionally healthy the woman is, it'll lead to a better sex life.
100%. Yes, definitely. So how can we speak each other's love languages when we are full of hurt and anger or resentment over the past? So we are creatures of choice. Poor choices in the past do not mean we must make them in the future. You have the power to stop it, okay? Love doesn't erase the past, but it makes the future different. So when we choose active expressions of love in the primary love language, we create an emotional climate where we can deal with our past conflicts and failures in a healthy way. So when an action doesn't come naturally, it is a greater expression of love. You're choosing to love at that point.
Yeah.
Are you even really loving when you're in the honeymoon phase? I would argue no, because you're not choosing.
You're infatuated.
You're so wrapped
it's just,
up in it. Yeah. Once you come down from that, okay, now I get to choose them. I get to
this is the
pursue them.
nitty-gritty of
I
love.
get to deny myself and serve them.
Yeah.
That's love.
Yeah.
So just keep that in mind. It's not easy.
But it's always worth it.
So there's different ways. And then I want to say one more time, if this is tough for you, that's okay. Like, again, you have the choice. You have the Holy Spirit. You have Jesus, right? It's not going to let you fail if you're pursuing you. Just keep on pursuing him, right? So with the power of the Holy Spirit, you can do all things. So just focus on that. It may not turn out how you want to, but surrender to his way and ask him to help you to love him by loving others. So do a 6-month experiment. Pour into your spouse their primary love language. So this places the initiative in your hands. So it is a choice. So you need to really be in prayer and communion with the Lord, because it's going to be an outpouring when you might not be poured into by your spouse. So you're going to need the Lord to fill you up as you fill up.
You always say the Lord is my
spouse.
portion.
The Lord is your portion.
But I've seen it happen like time and time again where they do prioritize, right, sacrificially for their spouse, and then in return their spouse starts reciprocating and they start getting filled up, and that relationship goes from where you thought it was amazing, but like now it's just like it went to the next level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, I agree. You do that 6-month experiment, right? Like you said, just keep pouring into them, figure out their top 2 to 3 love languages and just keep feeding it. And you'll see that relationship go to literally the next level.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. So you can either go online to take a test. You could, I think it's like the 5 love languages.
Yeah. So they have, I mean, it's in here. I don't know exactly where it is. It tells you where it's like the 5lovelanguages.com.
Yes.
The only problem is with that is it gives you, so it's free, but then it only gives you
your number one,
and then the rest of them are blanked out, and then you have to pay. And I don't know how much you have to pay, and I didn't pay. I wasn't going to pay.
Yeah, we didn't do that. We'll be honest. There are other tests online. I don't know. I know they don't go along.
There's a link that we have.
Yes.
So under this video, we'll post the link. If you've never done it before, take the test. You and your spouse do it. Take the time and sit down, and you take it, they take it, and then sit down and discuss it.
Yeah.
Write it out.
Yeah.
And literally, like I said, and we've been saying, just once you figure out the top it's going to prioritize it 1 through 5, figure out the top 2 to 3, and you both just feed it and just watch the relationship grow and
prioritize what you value.
Yeah, and get the book. I mean, we don't have any. I don't know him or anything like that, but I'm just.
Yeah, we have no correlation. It's just a good book.
I wish I was getting money out. No, I'm just kidding. But just get it. It's on Amazon. It's, I don't know, what was this, like $15 or something? This is the
like
new one.
$7, yeah.
And then there's, again, you can get used copies too for probably like less than $5.
Yeah.
So definitely get it. It's going to, I always say personally, just like it's a good foundation and it's something that you might just drift from a little bit, and I catch myself having to go back to it sometimes.
Yes.
Because again, we are inherently selfish, like you always say, and you just get caught up in life, and you just got to take a step back and prioritize what is the most important thing. What do you value? So this is just an easy. It makes like, I don't know if you're listening to this and you've never heard this before, but like it's just so easy, and it's very deep and profound, but at the same time it's like that light bulb goes off and it's like, wow, it was something
that was in front of you the whole time, but you didn't even see it.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good way to put it. It's so simple. So
there's also books for children, for teenagers. I think there's one for the workplace. So it's the same 5 love languages, but they adapt it so the dialect changes.
Yeah, like just a quick before we wrap everything up, like say physical touch, for instance. Like if you know that I'm talking about in a workplace, your employee is a physical touch. Obviously, you're not going to come over and
you need to have boundaries.
That's different. You're going to treat your spouse different than. But you know what? Hey, what up, bud? Like, hey, like if it's a lady or whatever, like it could be a pound in the morning or a high five, or you don't have to, physically
don't do that.
Obviously, because
don't get in trouble.
I'm just saying, like, I mean, I don't know. Let's put the disclaimer out there. But just a fist pump or something, and they, right.
This guy's great. He just gives me high fives
every morning.
time.
I get a high five. This guy's amazing.
He sets the tone for the day. And,
it could be something simple like that, and you're filling their love tank, and they're going to work. You got your workplace is going to be more fruitful as well. So, like always, guys, we always do a quick recap. There's 5 main ways that Dr. Chapman found through all his years in his Christian marriage counseling and psychology. Found that there's 5 main ways that all humans receive and give love. The 5 that he found were words of affirmation, quality time, receiving gifts, acts of service, and physical touch. We'll post a link to the quiz. You can pay for the one that he has. Again, I don't know how much it is. We'll post the link. Take the quiz. Figure out this is your assignment right here. Figure out your spouse's top 2 to 3 love languages and fill them. Do the 6-month experiment, like Jenny said, just like, and just do it. Like, see, and then look back in 6 months and be like, man, it actually did work, because it's going to work. I'm telling you, it's going to work. I wouldn't be recommending this if it didn't work. I've seen it in our relationship. I've seen it in the workplace. I've seen it with kids. I've seen it in other relationships. It works, right?
And another point too, love like you have nothing to lose. When you lay it all out on the table, at least you did everything
like Christ did for us.
Could. Exactly. Yes. You did everything you could to the best of your ability.
Yeah.
And you loved and you served.
Yeah.
And then you can live with yourself.
Exactly. So again, the next episode that we're going to do is going to be a recap of what our church series is on. It's Relationship Killers. We think it's going to be a really good one. So we're going to recap that. And then after that, I think we're going to put on our big boy pants and big girl pants and try to get other couples on and sit down and have fruitful conversations with them and navigate their stories, because stories are impactful and everyone's going through something that they might have, you could learn something from them. You're going through it, or they've already been through it and they've got so much wisdom out of it, and you can take some wisdom and practical truths out of that. So we're really excited to just kind of like take this to the next step, is just get people on. And we said if if you want to just sit down and have a relaxed environment with us and have a cup of coffee and tell your story, and just have a conversation, we'd love to do that. So just reach out to Jenny or I, message us, text us if you have our numbers, whatever. So always remember, the stronger the marriage, the stronger the family.
And the best marriages are composed of two really, really good forgivers. God bless.